Hi everyone, the Psyman rises back with more deadly Premonition 2, a blessing in disguise. Right, go to York's room and Patricia and review the case. Right. Well, let's go then, shall we? Alright, let's break up the skateboard.
Zach, you're a coffee person, right? No sugar, only milk. Yes, I'm completely with you on that one.
Here we are. Let's get in the hotel. Right to the room we go. Here we are.
Zach, the Clarkson family tree is nothing like we thought it was. We need to reorganize everything we've uncovered so far.
Indeed.
She was so tired she fell right to sleep. Hey, Zach. I'm in a very difficult spot right now. I feel like this case is heading in a direction that will be extremely unpleasant for her. I've never felt anything like this during any of our cases thus far.
Holy moly, man. Did we find out in the last part? We found out that she's in fact a Clarkson. What the hell? What the details are about that? Right, let's investigate.
First, let's go back to the beginning. Lise Clarkson's body was found hanging under a bridge over the bayou, in a deserted spot close to where the bayou meets the Mississippi. The one who fired the pistol at Heaven surely had no idea what he would find there. Speaking of which, Zach, Chuck, the man who started this race we're running, what's his occupation?
Well, what is his occupation again? I think it's a cool fish farmer, isn't it?
That's right. He's a crawfish farmer. And after chasing a poacher's boat that crossed over into his farmland, he went up the bayou and was fortunate enough to find Lisa's body. I doubt it was a very pleasant experience for him. But if not for his discovery, Lisa's body might have started rotting out there. He's a difficult person to be sure, but I don't think he's a bad guy.
Not so sure about that. You can't be so sure.
Something peculiar. He claimed the Clarksons were a little better when their son was still around. I don't know exactly what he meant, but we ended up meeting the person he was talking about, didn't we? Under very unexpected circumstances. Leonard Clarkson. He ran away from home, found his true self, then changed names. So, Zach, Do you remember her name?
Indeed we do. Well, actually, what was it?
Helena Doman. The townspeople call her Lena. She was also known as Professor R while she plotted against the Clarksons. She's the mother of the new drug known as Sang Rouge. She must have also had a group of followers who worshipped her fanatically. I can see it now. Lena sprinkling down the red powder, corrupting every last pure and innocent girl in town. Lena mentioned her plan each time we met. She must have taken us for utter fools, Zach. She thought she was always one step ahead of us, and that we'd never see the full scope of her plan. Well, her plan isn't complete yet, and I know we can still stop it. That's why we need to learn all we can about her. Her alias was Professor R, and she was well learned in the areas of medicine and fire dynamics. By the way, Zach, do you remember what weapon Lena used to murder PJ?
What was that again? Was it miniature bomb, was it?
Correct. She used a miniature bomb. To tell you the truth, she surprised me. That bomb was so well placed. It left hardly any damage on the building itself, yet still did amazing work on them. Lena should have used that brain of hers for something more productive than that saga of revenge. For example, reviving Lucare's economy from the industrial sector. Widen your perspective, and you'll see that Louisiana is an industrial treasure trove. With her intelligence and her charisma, I'm sure she would have found some amazing opportunities. Such a tragedy.
Indeed, indeed.
Zach, there's one more important matter we need to think about here. Galena Clarkson, who was murdered in jail. Her body was dismembered, then rearranged into a V shape. Patty and Melvin claimed it was a severed roots killing. But that doesn't make sense to me. And PJ Clarkson disapproved of it when I met him in the other world. He saw Galena's parts lined up and was overcome by an inexplicable fear. Tell me, who killed Galena?
Oh, we've only got one choice, but they make it as though it's 3 choices. What the fuck?
Unfortunately, we don't have the answer to this one yet. And it's too big a problem to solve with mere speculation. The answer to this question may lead to a major turning point for this case, and the final turning point for this story. I only hope it doesn't push us down an avenue we didn't plan on exploring.
I wonder how she fits in all this.
Hey, Zach. Do you remember PJ's last words? Lenny had intercourse with his older sister. His own flesh and blood. This means there's still one more person out there who inherited PJ's blood.
I wonder what all that's about, for crying out loud.
Oh, fucking poachers, now I gotcha. Caught you red-handed.
hell? Goodness gracious me, who the hell was that? Don't tell me that was the elder sister. Crying out loud. S rank again. Holy moly. I hardly ever get S ranks in other games. God's sake, man. That's episode 2 done. I wonder how many episodes are there. 5 maybe? I think I remember the original had 6.
Soon. I'm almost there. Just... please, someone. Stop that noise.
Holy moly, what the hell?
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Let me try and summarize this. Helena Doman was the mastermind behind the entire incident. But Helena Doman was actually P.J. Clarkson's son, who had severed ties with the family. Helena was also known as Professor R, the mother brain behind the drug known as Sang Rouge.
That's right.
She was responsible for everything?
Not everything, but most of it. Almost everything went according to her plan.
But if you'd already figured out that much, why did you continue to stay in Le Carré?
Because we had to.
You had to. Whatever for?
The goddess was still there.
The goddess?
The goddess of fertility.
Lise Clarkson's body.
Not her. She was as beautiful as a goddess, but she wasn't the goddess. She was just a tragic victim.
Then who is the goddess of fertility?
The person at the root of this case.
Is it some kind of metaphor? For example, the vast wealth that the red powder yielded.
The goddess of fertility embodied abundance on the outside. But on the inside, she was a hollow void. And that void was threatening to swallow up all of Le Carré. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Are you okay, Mr. Morgan? Morgan almost sounds like a prophet talking about the end of the world. Vague, elusive, and intent on deceiving those who listen. But every now and then he adds an interval of truth. Patricia Clarkson is one of those. She's something special. something irreplaceable to him.
Holy moly, another
Instead of kicking your floor, perhaps it'd be wiser to invest in a soundproofing mat.
lengthy interrogation, I bet.
Are you irritated, Belle? Yes, of course you are. You think we lack a common human trait, and that bugs you. We're crazy. Human refuse. That's how we look to you, isn't it?
I would never go that far, but you did surprise me. Just doesn't seem like the kind of attitude one should display when in the company of others.
Yes, we're sorry. We agree with you. It just made us remember a time when that noise kept ringing out, and we couldn't stop it. That flight from Newark Liberty to Seattle Tacoma. It was the first flight we took as FBI agents. The plane was shaking violently due to turbulence, and when we looked to the side, we saw a young mother cradling a baby with a frightened look on her face. We got worried, so we spoke to her. Then the baby started crying. It was so loud, we couldn't resist plugging up our ears. And since it was so loud, the rest of the passengers started glaring at us. At first, the mother and I waved our hands, trying to quiet down the baby, but our efforts were in vain. It never stopped crying. The more our anxiety levels rose, the louder its cries grew, shrill and piercing, as if they were heralding the apocalypse. We were powerless, and the baby's mother was helplessly bewildered. Once the plane landed safely in Tacoma, the baby finally stopped crying. We heaved a sigh of relief and looked at the mother. Then she said, "Whose child is this?" We were shocked, so we asked her what was going on. Apparently, sometime after she boarded the flight, that baby randomly appeared on her lap. Then it ordered her to call me over, and kept sitting there, as if nothing was wrong. Can you believe that, Belle? Bizarre, isn't it? While we were talking, the baby disappeared. The being responsible for all that loud, grating noise simply disappeared without a trace. Ever since then, whenever I hear a baby crying, I remember that bizarre experience. Well, what do you think, my fairy? Was it some sort of sign?
The logs in the center look far more burnt compared to the rest. Almost looks like they were used in conjunction with some kind of accelerant. Did you recently burn something there?
It's our fireplace. We're free to use it as we please.
I see traces of resin, which leads me to believe you burned up some sort of toxic substance. It doesn't matter what kind of fireplace you have. Burning anything other than firewood in it is dangerous. Next time, don't burn it up at home. Dispose of it like you would any other non-burnable refuse. Especially if it was something like a smartphone or a USB memory stick.
Non-burnable refuse like a smartphone? Let's be serious here, Belle. That's exactly the sort of data one needs to thoroughly immolate. Remember what you learned at Quantico. By the way, You're still searching for Patricia, yes?
You don't need to worry about that. We're investigating. In fact, we've almost reached our goal. We just need to find some conclusive evidence.
Oh, we sincerely hope that's the case. Hard to believe, though. After all, so far you've just been barking up the wrong tree.
Barking up the wrong tree.
That's right. You shouldn't be wasting time here. You should be out there, looking for her.
Then I'll just ask you straight away. Do you know where she is?
No, we don't. But we can feel her when we close our eyes and become one with the world. It's very faint, but we can see her. We can see Patricia.
Are you trying to distract me again? Or do you really expect me to believe you're clairvoyant or something?
What do you think we are, X-Men? It's metaphysical offender profiling.
He actually asked me where Patricia is? Does he have full confidence that we'll never find her? Fine. I can deal with that. I'll just ask him everything I can about the Le Carré case. This square area enclosed by milk cartons. Is it another sanctuary? The more I look around, the more I feel like there's some sort of system to all this. The sanctuary on this table. The fireplace sanctuary. And the milk carton sanctuary. They all lead into the room back there. And there's one more by the window, and yet another by my feet. Are they signs? Or is this all some sort of path?
Hey, Belle. Is that a serious question?
Of course it is.
We're drying them out. We line the milk cartons up to dry them out, so we can turn them into Halloween decorations.
Halloween? It's only January.
This is America, land of the free. Got a problem with that?
Holy moly, man. We got, they're both essential questions.
By the way, how did the FBI find Lisa's body after 14 whole years?
That's none of your business.
Are you saying they just happened to be investigating the Clarksons' cold storage warehouse by pure chance? That there was some undercover terrorism plot afoot there?
I said it's none of your business.
Well, then we'll just have to guess. It was an anonymous tip. A tip related to Saint Rouge. Did we hit the nail on the head, Belle? But that's not what we want to know about. After all, the FBI gets hundreds of tips every day. Right, my fairy? It was always that way, even back when we were on duty. Here's what we really want to know. Why, out of all those tips, did you select that one? Would you tell us that much, Belle? What urged you to make a beeline straight for this case?
That's none of your business.
Holy moly, not very cooperative, is she?
So you think Alina was murdered by Helena Doman, her own brother?
No, not her. Galena was someone else.
Then who killed her?
It's written in the report, isn't it?
Yes. But I'm asking you, would you mind answering me in your own words? You see, I find your entire story highly suspicious.
It's a complicated matter. Extremely complicated.
Don't let him draw you into his game. Stay calm, Aaliyah Davis. The future influences the present just as much as the past. You asked me why I spent an entire 2 days observing you before I came to speak with you. Well, here's why. Over those 49 hours, I observed the intervals between your actions, when you were neither doing something nor doing nothing. I intently studied your intervals between action to action, and action to inaction. People reveal everything during the intervals between their actions. For example, when you eat alone versus eating with someone else. The most prominent differences always appear when someone either begins or finishes eating a meal. And since these are unconscious actions, they can't be consciously hidden. When you prepare to eat or finish eating, when you move in to clean up, when you pick up a book or close one, when you raise a cup of coffee to your lips. Human actions speak volumes. Not even the person doing the actions is conscious of them. That's what lies in those intervals. That's my modus operandi. And here's the conclusion it helped me reach. There's one other person in this house, isn't there?
You're incredible, Belle. You outdid all our expectations. Impressive, to say the least. You're right, Belle. But only half right.
Half?
You should still be proud, though. Honestly, we never thought you'd make it this far. You've got real talent.
Most of what you If this goes to court, I won't let you claim that your testimony is inadmissible just because of your little indulgence there.
Fine by us. We can even put it in writing if you want. We won't run or hide. Will we, my fairy? Where's the paper? I know I had it around here somewhere. Where is it? Ooh. Ooh. We're fine.
Hey, everything okay? What's going on out here? Oh, don't tell me.
He's just suffering from nausea. I was more worried about you. You were in there for quite some time.
Yeah, sorry. Ever since you got here, I've been all backed up.
Mr. Morgan, can you stand?
Is this a sign from a coffee? What could it be? What is it trying to tell me? Think.
Is that a dragonfly?
Footsteps. Big footsteps. Footsteps. Big footsteps.
Some odd fella was following her around,
Right back to the past, it seems.
stalking her like.
That poor girl, Lise, she was a druggie, and she was into the really bad stuff.
The Red Soul has the power to amplify the unique characteristics we all possess, mentally and physically. That's why I created the Holy Red Powder.
You okay?
We're fine. Just feeling a little tired. would you take us to get our medicine?
Sure. It's in the bathroom, right? Whew. Seems like he's calmed down a little. We should let him rest for a while.
One more step and I could have cornered Morgan. But so be it. I can still keep investigating even if the owner of this chair isn't present. Simon Jones, what a piece of work. How can anyone have such bad timing?
Alright, what are we looking at, man?
What's wrong, Aaliyah? You hungry or something?
Excuse me? What are you insinuating?
Well, you're staring right at an empty pizza box.
Please don't compare yourself to me. Besides, I have a refined palate.
Hey, that was uncalled for. Pizza is a sacred food, remember? You don't need to feel embarrassed for being unable to stop staring at it. It enthralls all who gaze upon it. That's the power of pizza.
Stop, Agent Jones. I've had enough of this sacred pizza bit. I'm sick of you Chicagoans and your obsession with pizza. Pizza, pizza, pizza. 24 hours a day, that's all you ever talk about.
Indeed it is.
What's next? You gonna launch into a tirade about how deep dish is the only proper way to make pizza?
No, Aaliyah. You just don't get it, do you? As a Chicagoan, I'm proud of the deep dish pizza. But get this, I love New York-style pizza too. It doesn't matter what kind of pizza it is. As long as it's a pizza, it's beautiful. What? Still don't get it? Okay, here. I'm gonna put it in terms that I'm sure even you could understand. All pizzas are created equal. Eat your heart out, Nietzsche.
Just forget I mentioned anything.
Indeed. Wasting our time with all the talk about pizza.
Why do you think he's trying to survive so badly? What does he hope to achieve?
What do you mean?
He who has a why to live can bear almost any how.
No more Nietzsche. Please, just stop. I feel like my ears are gonna start bleeding.
Hey, Agent Jones, wanna know why I love Nietzsche's quotes so much?
Sure.
I first discovered Nietzsche in a shelter after Katrina. At the time, I was shell-shocked, hopeless. I wanted to die. How could a 13-year-old girl go on living alone with her little brother? Then, in that shelter, I met a college professor. His school was damaged by the hurricane too and got closed down. He also lost his family and was living there in the shelter just like me. So we gradually started spending more time together. I'll never forget the 3 months I spent with him. He loved Nietzsche. And out of all of Nietzsche's quotes, there was one from Thus Spoke Zarathustra that he repeated over and over again. Better know nothing than half know many things. Better be a fool on one's own account than a sage on other people's approbation. I thought it was a strange quote to hear from a college professor, you know? Why would he think it would be good to be a fool? But I understand what he meant now. He was trying to encourage my little brother and I, so that we'd be able to bear the weight of the victim label that was about to be slapped onto us, so that we could go on respecting ourselves without ever succumbing to all the patronizers. After that, my grandmother in Lafayette took us in. And that was the last time I ever saw the professor. But whenever I quote Nietzsche, my memories of him come flowing back into my mind. And they give me the power I need to keep pressing on. So I'm gonna keep quoting Nietzsche, just to make sure I don't forget my roots.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think I get it now. Nietzsche is to you what pizza is to me. Sorry for giving you a hard time about it. You are free to go on quoting him whenever you want, of course. I won't say another word.
Agent Jones, what the hell is wrong with you? How dare you compare Nietzsche with pizza?
Oh, come on. Let me get one thing straight. You started this investigation based on an anonymous tip, right? What kind of a tip was it? Phone or mail?
What does that matter at this point?
This may surprise you, but these kinds of details really eat me up inside. I always get hung up on the most insignificant of details, especially during the most vital times. For example, you know how people go to bed early the night before they have a big job? That's exactly the time where I start focusing on meaningless nonsense. When did I last clip my nails? How long is my milk good for? I just can't help myself. I can't resist the need to know. It's just the way I am.
It was sent in an envelope, postmarked December 28th, sent out from Louisiana.
What did it have inside?
A postcard with a dragonfly on it, a wrapped sample of Sang Rouge, and a note.
What did it say?
Investigate the Clarksons.
That's it?
Yes, that's it.
Who's FK?
Anonymous tip, remember? It's obviously just a fake name.
Did you confirm that?
Of course I did. Louisiana has a population of 4.5 million. The FBI database has a list of 6,682 individuals whose initials are FK. 1 out of every 6 individuals is a child under the age of 14, born after 2005. The remaining 5,500 people include those whose initials changed after they married or incarcerated individuals. After subtracting those, I was left with 3,800. That's when I stopped searching for FK, and I decided to change up my approach. It isn't important where the tip came from. All that matters is solving the case. I got this far by taking the most efficient route possible. Are you satisfied now?
Yeah. Thanks. I feel a lot better now. Yep, it all checks out.
Alright, and finally, let's talk about the empty chair.
Shouldn't you look after him?
I gave him his meds and let him rest.
Let him rest where?
In the bathtub. It happened to have a blanket and a pillow in it.
What? But why?
I don't know. Maybe he sleeps in the tub. I feel like I saw that once in some vampire movie.
I don't know what you're talking about. More importantly, how long has he been like that?
It's stage 4 cancer. He's had it for a while now.
No. I'm talking about his face. It looks as white as a sheet. You can even see all his veins. I've never heard of any cancer side effect like that.
Who knows? But now that you mention it, he started going really crazy around the beginning of December.
In what way?
He changed pizza places.
This better not be another joke.
It's not, really. It's not. Before December, he always used to order delivery from a Chicago-style joint all the way up near Medford. But one day, he took one look at one of their trademarked red boxes and totally lost it.
Red, huh?
You better believe it. He started screaming gibberish at the pizza boy and chased him away. Next thing I know, I see him toss the pizza box out his window.
Do you think that's when his fear of red began surfacing more prominently?
Beats me. I mean, there isn't a better Chicago-style pizza place that delivers around this area. How could someone give up on that just because they don't like the box? I don't get it.
Were you serious for even a fraction of that story? The letter that was delivered to me bore the Clarkson symbol. A postcard decorated with a dragonfly. The mark of the Clarkson family. A single sheet of paper ordering me to investigate the Clarksons. And...
Holy moly, more.
Hey, Aaliyah, sorry about before. I went a little overboard.
what are you talking about?
Okay. Chicagoans all love deep dish pizza. We can't live without the damn stuff. I admit it. That's why I always get so emotional whenever we talk about pizza. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It had already left my mind.
Well, good. Pizza should always be a peaceful dish, no matter what's going on. By the way, do you eat hot dogs?
Why do you want to know?
Just tell me, do you eat them?
Every now and then, yes.
Okay, so what do you put on your hot dogs?
What is this? A personality test?
No, nothing of the sort. You see, the thing is, we Chicagoans are very tolerant when it comes to pizza preferences. But hot dogs? Well, that's a different story.
Meaning?
I just can't stand those people who put ketchup on their hot dogs.
Huh?
Mustard is the only condiment that people should be allowed to put on their hot dogs. Anything else is heresy. And yet, look at our world today. Do you know how many people are out there dripping ketchup all over their Franks? I mean, let's think about this. What is ketchup exactly? Ketchup is a condiment meant for French fries, right? It was never meant to be an accessory for hot dogs. It's out of the question. You got a hot dog, you use mustard. It's an unspoken rule. So, Aaliyah, lay it on me. Are you one of those degenerates who puts ketchup on their hot dogs?
I do. I put ketchup on my hot dogs. Of course I do.
No. Well, this partnership isn't gonna last long. You've definitely convinced me of that.
Oh yeah? Well, good. From the moment we started this investigation, I always assumed it would be a one-time only thing.
Indeed, indeed.
Who collects vinyl in an age like this when you can stream just about anything?
True. Morgan's got refined taste.
You really think so? Now, even I thought they were cool back when the vinyl revival first started. But now, every suburban mall has its own vinyl shop right next to the novelty store. At this point, it's become a solid component of modern snobism, which only makes them that much more uncool. People who know nothing about real music are buying them up just so they can decorate their walls with cute album art. Excuse me?
You're like IBS. You keep flaring up at the worst times and there's no end in sight. And when you're alone with Morgan, it's just an all-out war zone.
We're in the middle of a very important investigation right now. Don't you think we ought to take it seriously?
To me, it just looks like you're putting yourself under a lot of stress for no good reason. Why can't you, show a little humanity once in a while?
Does one need humanity in order to track down criminals?
Yes, one does. Or at least I do.
Well, I don't.
Come on, Aaliyah. I'm your partner, aren't I? For a few days, at the very least. I'm your invasive partner who has a passionate relationship with pizza, right? Why can't you just let me in on one thing you actually happen to enjoy? Oh, aside from Nietzsche, that is.
You know, I'd really rather not.
Why do you always have to be so withdrawn?
I can't help it if there's certain things I don't like.
No, come on. There's got to be some kind of music you enjoy. This is a good chance to teach me a bit about yourself.
I said no.
Do you like Justin Bieber?
Nope. I don't like it. I don't like him.
Too cute. Not my type.
Drake?
I've only ever listened to the hooks.
Well then, Ariana Grande, Katy Perry.
Hell no! Am I done now?
Well then, what do you like?
I have to tell you,
Yes, you do.
Pink Floyd.
No way. You're a prog rocker? Who turned you onto it? Your dad?
As far as I can remember, I've loved prog rock ever since I was born. That's just how music works, right? I mean, The Wall is by far my favorite album. Even to this day, I find it hard to believe that they made that in the 70s. It still sounds completely fresh and unique, as if it was just released yesterday, and... What?
No, I was just thinking, I wish Morgan could have been here for this.
Don't you dare tell him.
Alright guys, that will do it for this part. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and comment, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and help me rise.